So as a small business owner, we had almost no employees to start with, right? It's just me and my dad. We're working hard, getting everything done and churned out. And as we grew, we realized we needed people, of course, to come on so we didn't have to do everything all the time. So we hired a couple people we really enjoyed. We knew they were either family members or they were close to family members. And all those people worked out great because they knew our value system, they knew how much we cared about people, and they just fit right in. And then we grew some more, and we grew some more, and we grew some more. And what I found out was even the people that really cared and had the right kind of heart didn't know exactly what to do. Even though we were great at training, they still didn't quite get it. And I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off, making sure everything was taken care of all the time. Not because people didn't care, but because there were things that were missing or that weren't quite done, you know? And I'm a systems person. Like if I do it more than twice, I want a system. I want a written, this is how it gets done so I can hand it off to somebody else to do. But it was still driving me crazy because I was going around making sure everybody else was following the systems all the time. And when they weren't, I was always the one that stepped into the gap and made it happen instead.
What did you find, first of all, when you first learned of Keith Lee's management system? What was it that caught your attention? There's always like one usually big thing that's like, okay, this has now got my attention. What was it about it, if you can remember, that caught your attention, made you interested?
Absolutely. So the thing that I thought was the most important was the PDIs, the personal development interviews. And one of the reasons is because we hired a lot of people that were friends and family, and when people come to work with us, I feel like they're family. I don't want to hurt their feelings. So the personal development interviews gave me a place to say, hey, this is what's going on, this is what I'm seeing, in a way that was very easy for the person to receive as a constructive thing that they could actually do and take charge of. And in fact, I had 2 employees that I thought, you know, I love these guys, but they're not getting their stuff done. And I'm gonna have to like have a necessary ending for this relationship, you know? And so that was my big thing, was I was going through that turmoil as I was walking through the room. I was like, I'm gonna have to let this person go. I don't wanna do that, but I mean, I have to. It's important for the business, it's important for our clients and customers, our members, and it's important for that person too. If they're not growing here, I shouldn't let them stay trapped where they are. And so when I heard about the personal development interviews, I said, I think that's what I need. I think if anything could save it, it would be that. And those 2 people still work with us today, and that was over 5 years ago. So it's a big thing.
What do you find? I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know if you could call it management systems and so forth that even rival what Keith has, but what do you find that is different, better, if you can correlate between what Keith offers and anything else that you may have tried as a formal system? You said you're a systems gal. You know, is there anything that you can correlate, put your finger on for me, that really makes Keith's thing big, better, different, beyond the PDIs?
Sure. So the first thing that Keith does is, instead of just attacking it from a management perspective, he first attacks it from a customer service perspective. So you get everybody on the same page about what's really important, and that's serving the clients, the customers, and the members, and making sure that everybody's so well taken care of. Once you get all of your employees on that bandwagon so that they understand everybody's headed in that same direction, it makes it a lot easier to do all of the other necessary management stuff. It makes it a lot easier for them to be willing to follow systems, to be willing to follow them all the way through to the end. And it makes, one of the things that makes Keith's system so great is that the employees report to you, instead of you going around and checking to make sure everything's done all the time. So there's literally built in a place and a time for them to come and report to you, and the system built in so that they're reporting to you about the important stuff, not just what they think they want to talk about that time.
What about the system as far as completeness, or being what you may want to say as being bulletproof? And the fact of, you know, I'm sure there's been programs that you've had that you come across and you go, it's great, but it's missing this.
You know, I think it's funny that people talk about things being bulletproof, because the first thing I always think about when I think about I'm going to sit down and have a one-on-one with an employee is I'm getting ready to have the I want a pay raise conversation, right? And for me, that was always like, I'm getting ready to take a bullet, right? Or have to dodge a bullet or whatever. But the way that the system is set up is that it's so systematized. It's so you do this and you do this and you do this and you do this, and you can have a quality conversation where every one-on-one conversation is not, oh, I want a raise, oh, I want this, oh, I want that. It's very much, here's what I'm doing in my job, here's what I need from you, here's the next thing, and you have the opportunity to do the same thing with that person. And when you're ready to give them a raise, of course that's easy to do now, instead of almost being afraid that every one-on-one conversation is going to lead to some sort of bullets flying through the air and you having to dodge and that sort of thing.
What do you attribute this completeness? What do you attribute the completeness or thought, the thoroughness of this system? What do you attribute that to from Keith? And I mean, what do you attribute on the system itself?
Yeah, so where a lot of systems sort of fall short is they don't get everybody on the same page as far as putting all of your team on the same page. So Keith takes care of that with the customer service part. And then it takes care of, like, it's a special name for it, but he talks about job descriptions and that sort of thing. And so it really helps people to know what winning in their position really looks like. So most people want to be winners, and he helps us outline, how do I help this person actually be a winner? And then takes it and follows it up by empowering them to help create the systems that continue to help make winners and help make great client and customer decisions time after time after time. And in fact, I mean, one of the cool things on the bottom of every system that we create that says, you are in charge of making sure our values are fulfilled every time. If this system no longer does that, you are responsible for changing the system. And I think a lot of places, they're like, this is how it is, this is what your manager said, this is what you do. And Key's system is so complete because it has the flexibility for it actually to be able to change and grow with you as you grow. Because if you're standing still, you know you're dying. So as you're growing, the system grows with you, and it's not something that needs like constant maintenance or is going to be outdated or have to be replaced at some point, because it's growing.
As a small business person, how valuable is it to you for a management system like this that's developed by a small business and not by a management firm or a psychology company? How important and valuable is that to you as a small business?
I think that's huge. I think it's when you come from an entrepreneur's perspective and you ask another entrepreneur a valuable question about, how do I handle employees? How do I handle staff? You get such a different answer than when you ask a corporate person. And I think that is in large part because they're after different things. A different thing is for an entrepreneur is a win than is for a corporate person. They just have different goals. For me as an entrepreneur, it really is all about the results that we get for our members. That's what I care about. Got to have money on the bottom line, got to have members that are doing great, growing, and being better. Those are the two things that matter the most to me. I don't have to meet a whole bunch of magical, mystical numbers. Like, I don't have to have a certain number of clicks, or I don't have to have a certain number of eyeballs. I don't have to have a certain number of ad spend. Those aren't the important things to me. And so when I talk to a small business person about, hey, how do I help this employee get to where they need to be? It's a totally different conversation. And it's not like talking to a blanketed HR, legal ease, this is how you do it kind of person. It's who I can be in my business. It's, hey, let me tell you about where I saw here and how we can do it better next time.